of interest?
I'll give all of ours to
You don't want me
the
to have it?
fire department.
Well, I put Common Council and Warsaw-Wayne Fire Territory. Okay, this wants me to update. I don't want to update.
Okay. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a while. You get different answer.
Yeah. Wait a few hours when the big snow hits.
Are you plowing snow anywhere tomorrow?
No.
My back hurts too much from doing that years ago.
All right, we'll call the fire territory meeting to order. I'll ask you to stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. It appears that we have a quorum. So thank you for your attendance today.
Yes, sir.
I did hear from our fire territory attorney. He did have a conflict and will not be with us today. So for what that's worth, let's dive into the approval of the minutes from the January 10th meeting. Those were submitted. I believe you were all here, received your oaths, and continues to carry on.
Mayor, I read the minutes, and I would make a recommendation that we pass them as presented.
All right. Is there a second?
I check.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. Welcome our visitors today. Appreciate you coming out here on a balmy afternoon.
It is kind of balmy out.
It is balmy. All right, so let's dive into the reports. Start with the monthly report. Fire Territory Chief.
311 fire call, or total calls for December 2021, of which I left that blank. Your actual medical calls, if you subtract the two, our medical calls were 214 for the month of December. Water heater fire with no damage. It had just overheated with spraying water. I had a mulch fire, and then you're going to notice a very large structure fire. So that is your Windham Hotel and restaurant, Italian restaurant. We listed, its value was over $800,000, and you'll see we listed $550,000 of damage. Mainly because of the smoke and water damage. So you had water damage inside the building on the floor, the whole restaurant area. When you have something like that, it also affects the kitchen, so you have a large loss of food, whatever they have in storage. Structural wise, that fire was contained to the exterior of the building. It was the mansard area on the front side of the building that had been installed years ago. Could not rule out an accidental electrical cause on that fire. So we're very, very lucky. Smart command decisions in the beginning to get a lot of people in to assist with that in the event that it did get into the roof line. Battalion Chief Brubaker was on duty, his crew. They maintained and kept that fire from moving into the structure or even getting into the roof line. EMS calls, as we move down, you will see 104 to include the CARES calls, 104 for District 1, which is downtown station. The East Station 68 and the South Station 40, and 2 of them just handled by admin. Your CARES call for the month was about 17. Vehicle accidents is your next column with injuries. You'll see there's 5 and 4. Coming on down, it's getting into hazardous conditions area. Your carbon monoxide alarms are starting to go off with heating devices in December. property damage accidents that we assisted on. Coming on down to assist citizens area, some of these categories are where people have fallen or just need assistance in one way or the other. That's a little bit more of the community cares program, the guys on shift helping them without Chris and I having to respond. Going into your next page, your good intent calls and your false alarms, about average. So downtown Station 1, 149 calls, Station 2, 103, Station 3, 53, and administration handling 6 of those, so the shift didn't have to do it. 396 hours of training, and in your packet, if you care to look further down, you will see what those training hours are. You'll also see 6.25 hours into the underneath the community service times. That next page is off of our report system that breaks down each type of call and how many there are for your review. Your training hours are there for your review, and it's broke down by types. Then it gets into your categories as far as what we're doing with events, smoke detectors. Chris at his shot clinics, he's still going out and providing shots, COVID vaccine shots. That is a work in conjunction with the health department. We're back into pub ed with the kids in the schools. And then we will, and then there's another form that breaks down. Chris and I went to Warsaw Noon Optimist and talked about where we were, where we are, and where we're headed programs. We have our Firefighter Today programs are back in full swing. If you remember right, that's where a 5th grader to 6th grader gets to come and spend a day in turnout gear, riding the apparatus with the crews. I don't know who has more fun with that, the kids that we bring in or the guys that are on shift. And again, there's your kindergarten, 5th, and 6th grade programs, 213 children, and a couple of smoke detectors. So we talked to about 232 people on community risk reduction. We also are still continuing to give you the report that shows multiple alarms, multiple vehicles out at the same time, which is for your review. And that's your monthly report for December. We are working on doing a year-end special reports, a little bit different. That'll be presented to you by Chief Holderman and Assistant Chief Bollinger when in your March meeting.
So, questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, quick question, I guess, on the structure fire there. Did the sprinkler system activate at all?
Actually, no. There wasn't even any smoke in the building until we opened the doors. How that came in, there's a guest that pulled into the parking lot, walked in the front door and said, you've got either a light or something burning out here in your opening between the two buildings where they're connected. Yeah. If that guest wouldn't have come in because there's no detection to it until it would have got interior, we'd have had a roof fire. That whole mansard would have been burnt clear around because there was no stopping it. So the guys did an awesome job at opening it up and getting water into it as soon as they got on scene.
That's what happened at,
Ponderosa.
well, Ponderosa and Gordy's years ago. That was a
Yes,
big-
Gordy's was the same way. It was a
That
mansard
was in the middle of the night.
added to the building after the fact.
Yeah.
All right. Any further questions? All right, thank you. No Lutheran report this month?
Uh,
I emailed Alicia last week and she was going to mail it to me, but.
And then she did send me a text message. She's working on a truck today because they're short-staffed, and she's not going to be able to be here to speak on their behalf.
So perhaps we can get it next month?
Yes, you sure can, sir.
Okay, appreciate it.
And I'll ask them for a year-end report also,
Okay,
or I'll have Mr. Fansel contact them.
Mr. Fansel. The one question, I guess, well, it's, yeah, we don't need to approve these, just acknowledge them, but I did think of a question with the CARES program. Are you guys being is 911, are you being dispatched?
Yes,
Per
we are.
cares
That is how.
type of
That
incident?
is correct, sir. Or we've have a couple people that are repeats that need assistance.
Yeah.
And they're calling direct to Karen. So some of these phone calls have already started to go into the 453-7901 phone number. But the majority of these are being dispatched to us.
And those were the
And to
incidents
the-
that we looked at as we worked through this, that were considered potential mental health initiatives.
That is
mental health
correct.
Types of calls.
Of some
And that
form
component.
or another.
Yeah.
And then between the EMS chief and myself, we have communication device, text message system that if we know it's an individual who's associated with fellowship missions, it goes to that group. If we know it's an individual that's associated with Bowen Center, then it goes to that group. And Bowen Center, once we pass that off to them, they make a response to the scene. But both of those agencies are pretty much instantaneous at answering us on our text message group, no matter what time, day or night or weekend.
But the dispatch is coming.
Central Dispatch is
Yeah.
the one that's giving
Okay.
us the calls.
Very good.
And some of those calls are generated because law enforcement's arrived on scene.
Sure.
And has realized it's something that Chris or I need to attend to.
Right, which is the way we're designed.
It's
Yep.
it's exactly working towards the design that
Okay,
we copied. Yeah.
all right.
Chris, do you have anything that you want to comment on that? I did not turn that on. You have to turn it on.
So we're sent out a variety of ways. One of them is through dispatch. They will ask us to come out. Warsaw PD's good about asking us to come out now. We've been dealing with some homeless issues, trying to find, so it becomes, and the reason this program is so great is because it bridges mental health, homelessness, resource management, and it just kind of all flows together. So we've got great partnerships set up with Bowen, K-21 Foundation Fellowship, trying to bring those key people to the table so that we can make a phone call or a text and get somebody involved. We had a lady the other day sleeping on a mattress in an abandoned building. PD wasn't really sure what to do with her. That's not their strong suit. So I went down there, interviewed her for 10 minutes, got her back into a mental health facility and got her back going to the care she needs. One new thing we did add that's kind of a new wrinkle is when our guys go out and initiate any kind of a 911 response, if they think it's a possible CARES situation, they're flagging the chart. So then we get a report printed off every day on those follow-ups, and we go out and follow up with them. Whether it's resource, mental health, whatever that may be,
Yep.
then we go out and address it. So it's kind of it's all coming together under one big umbrella. So far it's working really well.
Yeah.
We'll see as it continues to grow. I don't know.
Right.
It's a lot.
Well, and that was the discussion as we planned this, was to really go slow and make sure that we had all of our partners, and we had the process, and we knew what our goals were. And starting up, I appreciate that it's starting out slowly, but we're attracting the intended types of calls so that we can be most effective in that realm.
We have a new confirmed date for our CIT training that Parkview Police Department is going to provide. That will go out to the stakeholders tomorrow via email, so they're aware of it. It's the end of February this time. I think it's the 24th and 25th, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
And we're going to be the pilot program for that 24 hours.
Explain what CIT training
So
is.
it's crisis intervention team training. It's that de-escalation, diffusing training that's provided by a set program. It's a prelude to a 40-hour class that we will do in the fall, but they felt that it would be important for us to have the 24-hour. So all frontline officers in the fire service will be going to it, along with some write-up officers, and we're opening that up to Warsaw PD for their supervisors to be able to attend it so they can get a little bit more knowledge, even though they do get a touch of it at Police Academy. This will be a little bit more formal to our area. And then we're also extending it to the training officers at the Sheriff's Department because your fire territory does go out into Wayne Township, and we do work with the guys in Brown also, so.
This is, we've been asked to come out on suicidal kids, suicidal teenagers, adults that are dealing with homelessness and mental health crisis, to helping people getting wheelchair ramps built. I mean, this has just become, and it's those connections that you just mentioned, Mr. Mayor, that we come to rely on those so much, so far even, and we're just getting started. We meet monthly, I think it is now, with Bowen Center to address situations that we've dealt in the previous month, which that's great, having those contacts and those people. Fellowship Mission's been great to deal with. So, I mean, it's those. I am no mental health professional by any stretch of the imagination, but in one situation, family was trying to reach out and get some help, could not do it. They were pushed off by a month and a half, I think it was. We had somebody there within half an hour to address that immediate concern. And that took the weight off the situation and the family and everything else. So it's been really good for the community, I think.
I appreciate your comments, and again, I know this is just starting off slow, but I do anticipate the growth of this program will be pretty significant, pretty quick. So, but I think we're in a good position to do what we've set out to do, and again, the chief focus is to handle these incidents that come up in an emergent situation that require, like you say, de-escalation, diffusing, and getting everybody trained, and then having the resources to be able to move on. And that's kudos to what you all have done, and I'm just really proud of where we're at now. So thank you.
Yes, sir.
Very much
Thank you.
appreciate your leadership, Chris.
Thank you.
And Chief, for sure. All right, let's move into the dollars. The operating fund, 103. This will require your approval, so I would ask that you hopefully have had a chance to look through these, and if there's any of the expenditures that you have questions, now's the time to ask. All right, well, if
The
there
only
are
thing I
no,
would say, Mayor, is that I was pleased. I always look to see how much is left at the end, and I'm pleased to see that in so many categories we have quite a nice balance left. Some of the categories, of course, we've used what we've had, but that's what it's there for. But in many instances, there's quite a bit of money left, so thank you.
I think the teams, the boys, the guys that are doing the work on the street, on the station, are the ones that have done quite well at trying to maintain what they really need to operate every day.
all right, so is there a motion to approve the December appropriations expenditures?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. And now on to the Equipment Replacement Fund 410. Again, I don't believe there was any large expenditures.
And again, same comment. We just have so much money left over. It's really going to pay off, I think, going forward in the future.
All right, again, is there a motion to approve expenditures as presented?
So moved.
Okay,
I'll second.
all right, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right.
Thank you, Chief,
Yes, sir.
and to the guys.
All right, with no unfinished or new business, we'll move into the travel requests. There appear to be three, two from Joe Fretz, Spector, and then Kyle Martin taking a dive class. Hopefully he's not doing it this week.
No. Yeah, it's clear out in May.
All right. Is there a motion to approve as presented?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Well, other matters that may come before the board, I think Chief alluded to it earlier. Our new fire chief, Garrett Holderman, will be here. I believe February 21st is his first day. Garrett's probably watching right now, and certainly anxious to get him cross-country. He may delay his trip a few days so he doesn't come into Warsaw with 16 inches of snow to greet you. So Garrett, maybe take an extra day or two in Arizona, because we've got a little snow coming tonight and tomorrow. But he'll be here on the 21st and ready to roll. At our next meeting, we'll certainly formalize him as our chief, and I'm sure we'll have continued nice things to say about Chief Wilson and everything he's done for us. But between now and then, he's going to be a busy guy this weekend and moving ahead. So with regards to that, I probably should announce today the city will be closed tomorrow. I think in anticipation of a weather forecast that just is not relenting. We're pretty confident that we've got about 12 to 14 inches of snow coming tomorrow, and so the city buildings will be closed. Certainly our emergency services, street department, police and fire, utilities will all be out. Our trash routes will be run tomorrow. Our guys work really hard. I'm really proud of them. Those conditions tomorrow are going to be challenging. But all those, the rest folks will be staying home tomorrow.
Mayor, will board and recycling be running tomorrow?
I can't answer that.
Okay.
And then we'll go day at a time as far as what happens following that. But again, city buildings will be closed tomorrow.
One of the things that Stacy had put out in a press release that I want to reiterate to the press that's sitting here, it's an importance to us, to those people that live in community, not only here but our other communities that have fire hydrants. Street department works really well at moving all the snow off the street. A lot of times it ends up into the tree lawns. So what we ask is if residents that do have a fire hydrant sitting in their tree lawn, their front yard, that's there for us to be able to help protect structures on your block that might be involved in fire. And when you go out to shovel your driveway, if you could kind of shovel a 3-foot path around that fire hydrant and out to the edge of the street for us, that really helps, because we need to hit that hydrant for water to fight fire with. If you know of someone that's having a health issue or a heating issue during these next few days, we do have a team that's going to be working, your CARES team's going to be working around the clock to be able to help provide people that do need a place to go. We do have a couple warming shelters that's been set up. The easiest way for them to contact is just to call the dispatch center. Dispatch center will get a hold of either the EMS chief, Chris Fansler, or myself, or Eric Lane with Fellowship Missions, and we will more than be happy to help accommodate them or figure out what we can do to assist them.
Yeah, there's been quite a bit of planning the last week, quite frankly, and we're trying to anticipate the worst, and hopefully won't have to worry about it. But the potential for power outages is obviously a concern, and if we would need to evacuate, we've got contingencies there. But the biggest thing is stay home, get your cars off the road if you can, so we can get plowed. Mm-hmm. And maybe Friday we'll be back to normal. I don't know. It's hard to say, but day at a time. And for now, we're looking at probably between 1 and 3 things starting in tonight. So again, kudos to all our emergency services, street department, and we haven't had snow like this in, 6, 7 years. I think it was 2013 was the last
Yeah.
one. So it'd be nice if it wouldn't materialize, but these forecasts have just continued to keep us right in the heaviest band. So we'll get through it. Any other comments? All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second. All right. Thank you.
Was the city president doing traffic commission meeting?
Right. Traffic commission's been canceled. Yeah, that should have gone out. I'm surprised you didn't receive that.
I didn't see it.
Okay.
Do we have to do this?
I'll have Stacy make sure that everybody knows about that.